So good evening, and welcome to Make Some Noise with Doug DeJong, and that would be me. So, and tonight we have some really, really awesome entertainers from, so funny even backstage just now, Johnny and Greg, and we have Mouse, and we'll have some other guests coming on very, very shortly. So if you've got any questions, please ask them on the side, and I'll pop them in the comments. So hopefully you got a drink and you've got a fancy mug, and you haven't smashed a mug since I did this last time. I smashed it, so sorry, Mum. I've smashed it last time. So got some questions. This is all about being a singer, but not only just about the voice. This is also about getting into character, all the hard work that goes into preparing to be a front man or front woman. So here we go. Without further ado, first one. Oh, that second one, I better do that again. Got to work on my intros. We have Johnny. Hello, Johnny. Come in, Johnny. How are you, sir?
G'day, guys. How are you? All right?
Yeah. Good. I've got a feedback. There's no audio.
All good. Nothing unusual here.
All right. Okay. And what else has been happening?
Oh, not much, mate. Just sharpening up the axes and the knives. Just getting bored. But
hang on. We've just been told we've got
all of my knives are sharp. That's all.
I've just been told that we have no audio. So ready and waiting and no sound. Is there any audio there? Can someone message me? I'll just phone a friend. Can anyone? Sound is good here. Okay, cool. I'm just phoning a friend. So, Greg, you might want to jump on there.
Hello.
Can you check if there's any audio?
Great to see you guys. Great to be here. But just Greg Andrews from the Elton John experience. So it's going to be great having a chat, seeing you guys again, and hopefully, I'm sure we'll have a couple of drinks while we're going throughout the night.
Yeah, right. Okay, cool. So and we'll go to Mouse here. Mouse.
Hey, bud. How you going?
Hello. So how are you?
Good, thank you very much. Yeah, my name's Mouse. If any of you that don't know me, I've been singing around Australia for like the last 40 years, doing
rubbish,
rock, funk, hard rock. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, I'm not really singing, sort of pretending to sing. You know what I mean?
Copy that.
But, I'll have a go.
Well, I'll beg to differ.
Been known to have a warble, you know.
Warble. Okay, so just before we continue, I just want to check it. Can the audience hear the sound? Can the audience hear the sound? Can we? I logged out. It's working now. Okay, cool, awesome. Okay, so this is who we got. All good here. It's working. I have no idea what's happening in Facebook land. So, on first round of questions, because obviously you guys are amazing at what you do. Okay, thank you, Chris. So maybe Johnny, if you want to go first, what else do you do besides learning the songs? You know, obviously props because impersonating Freddie Mercury. What else do you do to actually get into character before you step on stage, etc., like that? Do you have a little ritual?
No, not a little ritual, but I used to have a little Richard, but then I got circumcised, so everything was fine. And may I say, Little Richard, R.I.P., one of my favourite rock and roll performers ever. He was, my God. We were introduced to Little Richard when I was a little boy, way before everything else. My dad loved him and Bo Diddley, so very sad to hear the passing of Little Richard. No, not really. Look, out of all of us here, myself, with Greg and Mouse, I'm probably the one that's maybe the most musically devoid of any musical inability. I am a mimic. I'm an actor, and I got into this because that's what I love doing. So there's no rituals before I go on stage. It's really just a bit of fun, and I do try to capture the essence of the person that I'm impersonating, and my girls are here tonight, and they're being real little fuckers. But generally, before I hit the stage, the makeup goes on, and all the rest of it, and you sort of just develop that character. You just sort of turn into that character, and you have to turn into that character because of the fact that there are people out in the audience that have paid good money to come and see you. So it's all about it's about sort of just channeling that person without sounding ridiculous, but all the videos you've watched over the years and all those types of things, just to make sure that you're delivering the best Freddie Mercury that you can. So I'm not sure if I answered that correctly. I did have look at this. That's what I wrote. And this side too. Come here. They just sprayed deodorant in my face. So yeah. But anyway, to answer your question, impersonation is all about just protecting the legacy of that person, making sure you're doing it right, and just doing your job. You know what I mean? Just doing your job, going out there, doing the very best you can, and igniting all those memories that people have so used to seeing.
Right. Okay. And we just got Jody in here. Here we go. Hey, Jody, how are you?
Hi.
Jody Joy.
Oh, Jody.
Hey.
How are you?
Oh my God. The memories I've had of you over the years. I can't remember any of them.
Doesn't it?
So Jody just joined us. We'll probably have to come back to your story in a minute, Jody. We're just doing a little round, and
Sure.
we're just talking about maybe the rituals. But I'll give you two questions when we come to you. But Mouse, is there any other besides doing vocal warm-ups about getting into character? That's all it is.
Well, yeah. I've done a few concept shows over the years. Most of them I didn't have to. There wasn't really, like I did the Eagles show. I've done John Lennon and stuff like that. Actually, the Ozzy Osbourne show, that was the more of the character thing that I did. I had to actually get into Ozzy's frame of mind, you know what I mean, and the way he was on stage, because I actually move around a lot differently to him normally on stage. So I had to actually, he does the Ozzy shuffle, and there's there's make some fucking noise and all this sort of stuff. I mean, I had to get into that sort of character to do that sort of thing, and it was actually his voice is different to a lot of the other voices that I covered over the years. So I had to sort of get into that mode of singing like him. But most of the time, it's just make sure you warm up, because there's a lot of stuff you do. There's like 4 octaves of singing stuff that you got to do. So you just make sure you're ready for that before you walk on stage. But apart from that,
Yeah, okay, that's good. And then we over to Greg. So is there any other rituals that you might do? We're not doing a cup show yet, mate. We're not doing a cup show. Wait for it. Oh, let's do it now. Here we go. Cup show. Johnny brought that on.
Mickey Trump's your shit.
Is there I got a cup? Oh, Jody. What do you got, Jody? So, Greg. Oh, Elton. There we go.
Okay.
So,
I can't find it.
sorry, Johnny. I'll just put your mic on mute for a sec. But unmute it whenever you want. Greg, what do you might do about getting into the Elton character?
Yeah, no, very similar to John. I think a lot of the work goes in before you turn up. That character of you've worked that hard on your character to get into character. That the main thing on the night when you turn up is more, the vocal warm-ups, and really when you get dressed up into character, when people. Obviously, there's people that have seen your show, that love the show, that come to the show all the time. But there's other people who, obviously, depending where you're playing, don't to see it. They're sitting there in anticipation, probably thinking, is this guy, how close does he look like him? Does he sound like him? All these sort of anticipation things build up in the crowd before you actually walk on. So I think first 10 seconds walking on, that's where I find you really grab people. And you might not even start singing yet, because people are believers with their eyes the first time you walk on. That's one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
Well said. Oh, as we go to Jody, you might control your mic there if you want, Jody. Do you want to maybe introduce yourself, because we've got some new viewers this week, and also what you do, where you've done it, and then I'll ask you the question.
Yeah, cool. Hi, everyone. There's lots of familiar faces out there making comments, so that's nice. So my name's Jodie Joy. I'm a singer, entertainer, songwriter. I write my own originals and just released a latest single. And I also work in the clubs and all around. I get hired to impersonate all sorts of characters. In fact, I have a little story. I got a phone call only a day or so ago to be asked to do Stevie Nicks in the Fleetwood Mac show. So that's coming up. I also do the Andrew Sisters show. I'm in that one, Andrew Sisters tribute show. And I've impersonated, Marilyn Monroe, Madonna, Tina Turner, and Jennifer Lopez, all sort of those characters I get hired from time to time to do. And and I bought some feathers for you all to show you.
Great.
Oh, we'll get to the costumes. So the next question is rituals. Just before you step on, out and doing your thing. So you're backstage. Is there anything that gets you in the headspace?
Yeah, look, I find the minute I put the wig on, I'm in character. So I sort of try to keep myself backstage and just get into character that way. So I can put the face on and everything, but it doesn't happen until the actual wig goes on. And then that's sort of my thing. I click into character. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's all about the wig. Okay, cool. I should probably do that more often. So we got some serious talent here, Greg and John. Yes. So going to the next question. Sorry, I'm keep coming up. If there's any questions, please post them and I'll get to them as soon as I can. So Johnny, obviously you've gone overseas and you've given us an insight to some of your rock and roll stories. So why don't we get straight to that? What's an awesome rock and roll story?
Well, hang on. You haven't asked Greg how he gets into character.
Oh, sorry, Greg. How do you get into character, Greg?
Fucking hell, mate.
I think I was taught by one of the best going back years ago, and I was privileged to see Johnny's warm-up routine, and I thought I'd modify it fractionally. So, but we use the same warm-up, and it usually ends in Walker.
Yeah, right.
We have So I like having a nice whiskey before going on stage, and then everything's sorted.
Okay. All right, fair enough. There you go, Johnny. Was that good enough for you, Johnny?
I didn't hear any of it, mate. Didn't hear any of it.
One job. Okay, so if we cut straight to a rock and roll story. Oh no, actually, before that, let's do the costumes. You got something you prepared earlier?
The best person to talk to about costumes would be my good friend Greg Andrews, because he has always impressed me. And I think off air, I was talking to you, John, about how I met Greg. I was very offended by people using the photos of the people that they're impersonating to promote their shows. I've always been, and I mean, yes, it is a little bit childish, perhaps, or even not needed. But when those people turn up and you're performing as Rod Stewart and you've used a photograph of Rod Stewart and your head looks like a drop pie, there are going to be complaints. Okay? There will be complaints.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, I just agree with it too.
Yeah. So don't use the photograph of the actual act that you're going to be tributing, unless you absolutely look like them. So,
okay.
When I saw Greg's photograph, I think I sent a little message to Greg. I didn't know him. I had no clue who he was, but I said, best not to use the bloke that you're actually performing or doing a show to.
Oh, you actually got up him.
Yeah.
It's just pet hate. It's possible.
Oh, you offered some wonderful advice.
Probably say what I'm doing is mental. But
hey, guy.
It's just a pet hate. It's just a pet hate of mine. So I think I sent something along the lines to Greg of, don't use the image of Elton if you're going to promote your show. Something wouldn't have been that harsh. It would never have been that harsh. But it'd been along the lines of, use your own photograph, mate. And he said, that is my photo. I was like, oh, wow, okay. And then I started watching Greg, and I was really impressed with the fact that the attention to detail is just incredible. And that's why I really enjoy it, because if it's not for me, it's not for my band, it's for the audience. They're the ones that are going to turn around and say, wow, they've gone to a little bit of trouble here. They didn't go to the Carrara markets or Wish to get their costumes. They've gone to a few bit of trouble. And on top of that, Greg's an amazing singer, of course. A wonderful piano player and all the rest of it. But you need to ask Greg about how much money he spent on costumes and what it entails.
Yes. Oh, we will. Do you have any costumes there we can have a look at? Do you have any cool jackets?
Me?
Yeah.
I just fucking told you to talk to Greg about it.
All right, we'll come back to you. We'll come back to you.
Yeah. Come back to me.
But I did ring you to say, hey, get something for show and tell.
I do. Yeah. I got stuff. I've got stuff. Okay. Don't worry about that.
All right, we'll come back. We'll come back to you. Okay, over to Greg. So, what have you? What's the most expensive prop? Are you there, Greg?
Well, look, that's very nice, Johnny. Yes, yeah. Can you hear okay?
Yes.
Yep.
What's the most expensive?
Look, that's
prop?
great, and I really appreciate it, Johnny. And no. Well, I think absolutely to go down this line, like I was lucky when you asked me about it, but these are actually real Versace glasses that have got the EJ logo on them. Now, I'm not saying
have a look at that when you
they are definitely
definitely
Elton, but I mean, at least get the real deal was one of the things that I wear in the show. One of the other jackets, because it's very important that as John does himself, you add detail into the exact jackets that Elton wears, and I've just got one hanging up here, so I'll grab it. Hang on a sec.
Okay, yeah, cool, man. And so Jody, I hope you and Mouse. There we go. You got some cool stuff. Okay, hang on, let me zoom in again. Here we go. Oh wow, cool.
Sorry, as you can see, it's called Ocket Man. I couldn't pay enough for the R. Sorry. Where are we going? This way, yeah. So there we go. But all these crystals, I'm very lucky that the lady that makes these, and where am I going? Back this lady that makes these and decorates them is a wonderful. She's a very keen, one of the biggest Elton fans out there. Just he's a wonderful dressmaker, and so it's the attention to details the biggest thing as well. So that's the key, and so answering your question, regarding the cost, well, it's nothing for like a jacket that $2,500 to get done,
Wow.
So they add up over, yeah.
$2,500 just for the jacket. Wow.
Just for the jacket. They're all finished, and because it's a crystal, like crystals. Use cheaper crystals, probably should have, but hey, why not grab the Swarovski crystals because it's Swarovski,
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's amazing.
So But I noticed when as John also been lucky to tour quite a bit with Johnny over the time, and we've done some wonderful shows together as well. But you really see not only in Australia but even different shows I've done overseas in England. When you walk out on stage, it just the belief factor, I think. So if you don't, as Johnny said correctly, if you don't go out there with something you just bought secondhand in a dollar shop, like that, it just allows the belief factor to people to question: is it really or is it not?
Yeah. So I like what you said there. It's about the initial engagement of your clients, within the first 3 seconds. Yeah. Is it believable? Yeah. Well, we might, before we get to Joe. Oh, sorry. You go.
No. That is one found, initial thing of quite often there's no need to sing in the first 30 seconds of walking out there, because you let people absorb what you're doing and let them play the tricks in their mind about so in my case, Elton never sits very rarely sits at the piano to start. He did in his last tour, but that he just did. But most times you allow the anticipation. People, as I said earlier, have got all these thoughts behind the scenes.
I like that. Yeah.
Play the piano? Does he not? Does he do this?
Okay.
Yeah, so when you make your entrance, that is the biggest thing that I find, that you can hear people actually gasp sometimes. Yeah, you can hear them back or talk amongst themselves. So it's quite amazing if you can, accomplish that to walk on.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Wow.
And if we go to I've just learned something there. So next time I'm not going to say or do anything. I'm just going to walk on stage and just absorb it first. That's awesome. And Mouse, before we get to Jody, about, what do you do when you're walking on stage and all that kind of stuff? Or actually even props, I guess. We're talking about going to length of props. But maybe, as we said off air, I know most of the people that you impersonate like rock and roll.
Am I muted?
I was muting you.
Right.
Not in audio, but you look pretty
muted. Hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
That's all right. Just go and gate crash a question.
We had Johnny come to one of our shows in Tasmania where he did John Lennon in this festival and brought the house down and wore no costumes. That's how good fucking John Mouse is with his voice. Yeah.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, mate.
Yeah. Well, Johnny,
I was trying to have sex with you that night too, Mouse.
Yeah, we did. Well, if I remember rightly, we did have sex. I remember standing around the piano for hours singing.
Yes.
We were pissed off our heads. That was good.
And I kept kissing you, and I said, "Keep singing, keep singing."
We do all this Steely Dan stuff and everything. That was great, man.
Mouse brought the house down twice. He brought the house down twice.
That was a fantastic night.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah,
love you guts.
Yeah, absolutely. You too, mate.
So Mouse, about so I guess you've got talent on tap, man. With your voice is amazing. Yeah, very very recognizable. And because I used to play in a band with you, sir.
Yes, and you were playing bass, not guitar at the time.
Being a guitar player,
yeah.
But I was going to say is so what else? Yeah, what else do you do? Do you study videos? Do you write down the moves?
Oh, yeah. No, well, ever since I started out singing, I had all these singers that I was writing to when I was in high school and everything, and I loved them, and I looked into what they did to prepare to be the singer that they were. Just analyze their lives and stuff like that, as well as their vocal thing, and what they did to get their range, because I was always into the Paul Rodgers and the Led Zeppelins, and all that sort of stuff, those great sort of singers. And of the 90s, Chris Cornell is just an absolute god of a rock singer, so I wanted to study all that too, so I can get all that, get that range, get that ability.
Yeah.
Not saying that I got Chris Cornell's range, but but that sort of thing, And so I did study a lot of that.
You have his range,
just to perfect it. Just to be able to get up through, and and anyone that's trained themselves as a singer, that you want to
have his range, Mouse.
You want to work through going through your breaks. Thanks, Johnny. You want to work through going through your breaks. And all your from your chest, your head, your falsettos, your whistle tones, and all that sort of stuff. So just work on that sort of stuff.
Cool. So it was more about just getting the talent right than getting the costume.
Well, but the thing with me is that music's about feel. It's how does it make you feel? The whole thing really. Plus the costumes and all that. When you've got an act that you're doing that has got a distinct sort of costume and a distinct look, of course. And if you're doing a concept show, you have to kind of do that. But it's all about how you make it feel too when you're singing, when you're doing your thing, and the emotion of it all,
Yeah, I love that. Okay, well, we're going to go to Jody. Here we go, Jodie. So do you have any cool costumes I can zoom in on?
I
Jesus
actually
Christ.
probably do. I brought out everybody's favourite. I'm a little bit of a showgirl at heart, so I've got plenty of sparkles and stuff here. But a lot of these things, obviously, probably like most of these guys, I get them made from scratch. I design a lot myself, depending on if it's a character or somebody personally. But yeah, I think you guys will appreciate this little number.
Hello.
Turn it in the right way.
Can I try it on?
Yes.
Can I try it on?
Hey.
Get back to you in about an hour, mate.
You like that? It takes
Wow.
a long time to get into Marilyn Monroe and Madonna. I find quite a bit. But you know,
Didn't take JFK too long.
That's it. And this one makes me look like a bit of a chook, but it seems to attract some attention. It's nice on stage.
Pluck a duck. Pluck a duck.
Pretty cool. I've got stacks of costumes, absolutely stacks of costumes. I've got like two warehouses.
I warned you about this. I said to Doug, if you're bringing Jodie Joy on to talk about costumes, leave me and everybody else out of it, because she'll be able to talk about 20 minutes on every undy she's worn. Seriously. Seriously. Okay, let's and that's food for thought.
Yes.
Just employ her to talk about all of her costumes, and there's about 4 hours there.
Plenty of material.
Oh man, I got sore cheeks.
It's funny because it's true.
That's true. That's true. Hey, Kelly.
Actually,
Okay.
that's on any topic really, Johnny, isn't it? Doesn't matter. We're talking costumes. I can talk underwater.
So you guys used to work at Movie World back in the day together, right?
We did. Yes, many.
No, we didn't.
Well,
No, we did not.
Wasn't I? It was afterwards.
Okay.
So
Fair enough.
No, I only knew a Jodie Joy through the pop stars.
Oh, Bardot.
Yeah.
Can we have that story, Jodie? Can we have that story?
Oh,
She had a penchant for everybody else's makeup. That's what I heard.
oh yeah. Interesting days. That was a lot. That's
Weren't they?
Are we allowed to have that? Are we allowed to have that story about the Bardot thing?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know if you all remember. You probably do, Miss Sophie Monk, and so we.
This will be good.
Marilyn Monroe at Movie World many moons ago, and Sophie took over. And then before I knew it, we were down in Sydney. I moved to Sydney, and she was down there auditioning for pop stars. So we ran back into each other again, and so that was great. I got chosen to be top 10 we got down to, and Sophie Monk kicked my ass and came first in the public vote. I came second, runner up, and no, it was really good. But for some stupid
reason, they're watching, Jodie.
So they signed 10 people. I don't know how many people know this, but they actually signed all 10 people. And if you didn't sign the contract,
this will be good. This will be good.
Wow.
If you didn't sign the contract, you didn't get the deal. So I thought I was going to be some sort of superstar, so I didn't sign the contract. And then they had the chick, I've forgotten what her name was, but they had a little bit of controversy with one of the ladies, and they called me up a little bit later and said,
Have you shown
come back? And once they formed Bardot, and they said, and can you come in and do a recording with the Rock Melons? I don't know if anyone remembers the Rock Melons.
Yeah.
I know Rock Melons. Yeah, great.
So
Great band.
Demi Hines.
Peter Blakely was the original
Demi
singer.
Hines.
Yeah, Peter Blakely too. The original, he was awesome.
Yeah. So I went in to do a recording with them, and I didn't realise it was sort of like another mini audition, I suppose. And it was between Tiffany and myself. They offered me a contract again, and stupidly enough, I said no again.
Oh.
So yeah, but I mean, hats off to Sophie Monk, mate. Isn't she smart? Very, very clever. Wrote that very, very nicely. She's a good surfer, I hear. Yeah,
Wow.
that's how it all panned out. And then I think it was Channel 9 or Channel 10 that picked up the 5 people that didn't sign the contract, and they sort of turned it into a bit of a gag on Good News Week called Pop Tarts instead of Pop Stars.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So we had a little bit of fun with that. Yeah, it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to work with lots of different people through that experience. It was fun. It's really
Wow,
fun.
well, that's a good rock and roll story. Well, maybe if we go in reverse order, Greg, do you have a rock and roll story?
Oh, not thing like that, I don't. But as highlighty as it gets for me, was actually going backstage with Elton's band a few years ago. That was as good as it got for me. And I had 45 minutes before a show with having a beer with the band, which was something I'll always remember, which was great.
I thought Johnny, you want to prompt Greg about Elton in England or something?
I can't hear Greg at the moment. I'm not sure why, but I can't hear Greg.
Okay.
But we have a wonderful story that I told you about off air where we went to Norway to do a show. And the funniest thing about that was that I said to Greg, my keyboard player has to move back to England. I don't have a keyboard player. Do you know any keyboard players? Because of the fact that Greg has done so many things, and he's worked at the con, and he's got all these degrees. And he said, what do you need a keyboard player for? I said, because mine's left. And he said, well, I'll do it. So Greg played with Killer Queen for about a year. But we went to Norway, and I much prefer Greg to tell the story because it was just so wonderful. It was crazy and a good rock and roll story. I can't hear him, but if he can hear me and he can tell the story, that'd be cool.
No. Well, there's a number of differences over time with Norway, but because we've been lucky, I think, to go there a couple of times to look out. Not just with Killer Queen, we do a Killer Queen night one night, and then I'd do an Elton spot the next night, unbeknown to people, and walk out, and he used to introduce me out there, and it was one of the most amazing experiences there. I always remember was just playing piano on stage, and it's hard to say how many people were there at the festival, but it might have been 15,000 people, and when you're playing a song and they all sing along, it's quite, your song or something like that everyone involved with. It was one of the most amazing things in a live performance you can have. So but also going into mistaken identity, so to speak, when you travel a lot.
Mistaken identity. Yeah, Johnny did tell me this story.
Yeah, where it ended up being in the paper.
In the paper?
Yeah, there was another paper at another time. Like there's been a few times over time, but mistaken identity when they thought, the real Elton was somewhere and it was actually us.
Oh, I think we just lost the punchline there. It just froze on my end.
Oh, no. Well, I'm just saying there's so
froze again
over the time.
Yep. That's awesome. And Johnny, you might have to log off and log back on. But if you just want to repeat about the mistaken identity being in the paper.
Oh, absolutely. I can't hear Greg, but it was really weird because Elton was playing it was not too far away from the Skarnavik where we were playing, and Greg turned up. But I asked Greg if he could play off stage because he was my keyboard player, and I didn't want him to come on because he looks so much like, Elton John. So he played off stage. But when he came on, he only played 2 songs with me, and we had it all sorted out. And Greg was quite pedantic about the keyboard that he wanted on stage, and I was a little frustrated with all of that because I was like, "Oh, we're gonna be performing in Norway. Don't be so fucking pedantic about." But as it all turned out, it was wonderful because the keyboard that Greg asked for, is almost identical to what Greg played. So it played into the hands of the media, and it was quite bizarre. But yeah, he came out and sung 2 songs with me as Elton. But he was backstage the whole time we were playing our entire Killer Queen set. He was backstage playing. And then I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you all Elton John. And he came out, and it just sent confusion through all the Norwegian press. And Greg has son that works in Norway and all the rest of it. So it was crazy. And the promoter of the festival was like, wow, that was amazing. Everyone thought that Elton John was here. So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was yeah, a wonderful moment. And I could bang on about it for another couple of minutes, but it is what it is. It was just Elton was playing just up the road, literally up the road. And they were like, how did he get to another venue so quickly? It was great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But Johnny, if you can't hear Greg, maybe if you want to log off and log straight back on.
Not interested. Not interested.
So
no,
Mouse,
he's never wanted to listen to me anyway, so it's okay.
Only if he's getting paid.
It's the way he likes it. It's the way he likes it, really.
It's only if there's money involved.
okay, fair enough. So Mouse, what's a good rock and roll story that for you doing your shows?
Oh, I've got quite a few, but
I know.
It depends how long you got, really. I got one about being in Townsville with a blind keyboard player who just actually passed away not long ago, and we actually had a hire car. It was in my name. My name was out front of the band. He decided when we were all out of it that he was going to go out and get to the car and drive around the hotel and bark the horn and sort of amaze us all with his stuff. But he actually drove outside of the pub and ran into a pole, and the cops got involved and everything like that and sort of thing. And then he had told him that he was legally blind and showed him his license. So it said that somebody else was driving the car, and because he was legally blind, they decided that he mustn't have been driving the car. So we ended up getting away with it. The cops let him go, and we ended up getting another car from budget and all that sort of stuff. And it was classic, you know what I mean? But I was involved, but not involved. But that's and that friend of mine just passed away not long ago. He used to play with Blackfeather actually back in the day. He was a piano player. I played on Bop and the Blues and all that sort of shit.
Is in the freezer.
Yeah. Wow, that's
but
awesome.
I've got some really drunken raging ones too, you know what I mean? But that can be for another day.
Okay.
I'm sure we've all got those.
Hey, Doug.
Yep.
In all respect to my good friend Greg, if I log out, I'll probably not be able to get back in. So that's what I'm saying. I am tech dumb. So I just want to stay here. And anything Greg is saying, I've probably already heard it all before.
Just
and I've got a group of people here. I've got an army of people here looking after my children.
Johnny's in his safe zone. Leave him on the plane.
Yeah. Shut up, Jody.
Okay, well, Johnny,
fuck yourself. Not interested. Move on.
It's a matter of time, Johnny. You got to learn these things.
Okay,
there you go, mate.
Johnny, we're up to you now, mate. Rock and roll story. What's the craziest rock and roll story for you?
Oh, crazy. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I met Jeff Beck in Norway.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
My
it's
hero.
really funny because this is going to sound quite arrogant because my whole band were like we go to Norway. Thank you. My kids served me that. Don't let the lawyers know. Anyway, not even joking. We do this festival at Norway maybe once every 2 or 3 years, and they have these ridiculous bands like Journey, Foreigner, Thin Lizzy, and Jeff Beck, and all that type of stuff. But the promoter of these events loves Queen, so he makes us close the event. Which meant Twisted Sister was which means all those names that I've mentioned have to be our support band. It's embarrassing. It's horrible. I know. I get it. But he loves Queen. It's his festival. He's the millionaire. So he puts us on at the end because he said, I want you to close with We Are the Champions. So anyway, on this particular year, we went there and Jeff Beck was I had to say support. In fact, I won't say support. He was the guy that played before us. Anyway, my guitarist said, Jeff Bex wants to meet us all. He's going to have a couple of beers and he wants to talk to us about Queen and all the rest of it. And I was like, I don't really know what he does. I'm not in I mean, I don't play guitar. I pretend to know how to sing. And I'm not even that interested. But anyway, I had to come up for a sound check, and he was there. And that they're all masturbating around him and all the rest of it. And I kind of know who he is. And I walked in. I said, "Hi, Jeff." He went, "Holy fuck! What the fuck is happening? What is happening?" And I said, "You're right, mate." And he goes, "It's Freddie Mercury's come back to life. He's fucking come back to life." And he ran around me like a Benny Hill. Like it was just weird. And he said to his, I think you were there, Greg. And I think he said, "You were there, Greg. You were there, Greg." I heard Greg's laughter. We're back on. And anyway, I said to his personal assistant, she said to me, "He wants to get a photograph with you." And I said, "Happy to do so." And he said, he said to his personal assistant, "Let me get my cool sunglasses on." And it was bizarre. It was so I've had a couple of weird. I've met Kelly Rowland and a few other wankers, but Jeff Beck was probably my best. Just funny, really funny and weird. And because I didn't really, I didn't really care that it was Jeff. I know it sounds horrible. I know I was just like, who cares? It's just Jeff Beck, not Yngwie Malmsteen or Eddie Van Halen. I didn't really. Of course, I know who he is, but I was like, oh, whatever. If it was Tom Jones or something like that, it would have been massive. Would have been cool. But I was just like, I was just like, whatever. The photo's there. I've got it on my Facebook account.
Wow.
But he was hilarious. He was so funny, and I wish I had a record. I got a photograph, but he was so cool. He goes, "I thought you were dead. I thought you were dead."
A wanker.
And I think I even said, "I thought you were too."
Johnny, I got a job for you, mate. So Jenny lives in the US and she doesn't know what a wanker is. Can you explain to her what a wanker is?
It's a person who constantly masturbates, Jenny. That's what a wanker is. Yeah. And actually, if I want to, it's someone who does it, who doesn't need to,
Okay.
but just does it anyway. That's a wanker.
Oh, right. There we go. So if anyone else is listening, please type in where you're listening from. So far we have someone from New York, Portugal. So that's your friends there, Johnny, in Portugal.
They're all mine, mate. They're no one here to the fucking independence.
So thank you, Johnny.
You're welcome.
So
You're
over to Greg.
welcome.
Oh no, we're up to Jenny. Jody. There is no Jenny. Oh,
all right.
Okay, your turn,
toilet
Jody.
break now.
I'll be Jenny.
Okay.
Toilet break.
All right, I'll just pull you from the feed. Here we go. He's going to come back when I put him in. Yeah, so over to Jody. So, oh, we lost Greg. Where's Greg? Hopefully he's not gone too far. Wi-Fi. He's back now. Okay, so, Freddie. Oh, Newcastle. There we go. So please type in where you're listening from. That'll be awesome. Newcastle. So Freddie. New Zealand. There we go. Awesome. So while that's happening there, Jody, is what else can you tell us about maybe what motivated you to, obviously you've been I don't know, I'll just say it, the diva of many, many shows. So how do you go about maybe articulating with other people about maybe outshining you sometimes, or trying to? I'm sure that never happens. How do you keep other people in check?
How do you keep other people in check? I've never had too many run-ins, to be honest. It's so the diva title. I don't know about that one. I get called that by my bandmates. They call me the boss, because I've got 5 blokes in my band, and obviously taking instruction from a woman's very interesting. But they're top blokes. So, but yeah, I don't know. They like to call me the diva to piss me off. It causes a bit of trouble. But no, I was thinking about my Elton John moment actually, just before you asked me that. I digress.
Okay.
And I met Elton, and they shut down. I was singing. Where was I? It was a James Packer wedding, actually. I think it was his second wife, Jodie, and I was performing there. Anyway, they pulled everyone out of the building and put everyone into like motorhomes out on the street. No one was allowed to be there because Elton was in the building, you know. Anyway, I luckily was allowed because I was going on just before Jimmy Barnes, and I met Jimmy backstage, and I'm sure this story has been told a million times, but it is actually true the way that this guy warms up, like just screams to warm up.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
I supported him. I supported him a few times back in the day too.
Yeah,
Same thing. Just screaming into a corner. You know?
Who's that? That's Jimmy, is it?
Horrified. Horrified. I mean, I come from classically trained, family members, and I was like, oh, okay. But yes, I was very young. So that was my Elton John story anyway, when I sort of brushed shoulders with him.
Yeah, cool. So just getting back to the question then, so running the band and being the star of the show, what other things, to educate other people if they want to move into, running their own show per se? What are some of the street knowledge that you would only learn on the gig that you could pass on about, keeping people in check, and maybe it's encouraging people to learn their charts, et cetera, et cetera?
Oh, yeah. Really, yeah.
Yeah, well, we touched on this the other night, didn't we, Doug? I think for me, anyway, in my experience, I found if you actually care and you sort of go beyond the call of duty for people, so you actually are more interested in what they're doing, what they're providing for you, especially when you're coming from, the boss sort of situation where you're running. If you're actually more giving about what they're bringing to your show and what they can bring to you, and I find that people respond better. They don't feel like they're just paid for a job. They actually become passionate about what you're doing as well, because you show interest in them. So
without them,
I try and take that to my work anyway. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, and it's the same with singing students. I teach singing, and I find that you become a bit of a counsellor as well as a teacher. But if you show interest in what they want to get out of it and who they are as people, or what they might be going through in their day, and I think that's really got me through. Like that's something I've found that I can cut through and get to know people and get them to work for you and work hard and passionately for you without trying too hard, because you actually care about them as a human.
Yeah.
That's
because,
great.
If they're in if you're putting on a major sort of show, really the other people in the band have got to be quite accomplished as musicians too, to pull off a lot of the stuff you've got to do. So of course, you must respect them as equally as much. Absolutely, And
I find you learn more and you enjoy it more because you
absolutely,
So it's not about I'm the boss and you just do what you're told and this is the gig.
Yeah.
It's kind of making them feel like part of a team. Yeah.
And we're doing shows, but after all, it's a concept. So we're not, we're just a cover band when it comes down to it. You know what I mean? Although you can do it really good, yet you still you're doing a cover thing,
Their piece as well, like letting them have their stake in your show, even though
absolutely,
encourage them to have their piece in it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, well, we're just doing the Ozzy Osbourne show because Ozzy has awesome bands. Everybody else in that band's got to be on the money as a player. Like my young guitar player Dan, he's a mega guitar player. You know what I mean? And I couldn't do a show like that without him. So and it's same as everyone, the drummers, the bass, everyone in the band's got to be really on the money. You know what I mean? And same as Johnny'd say the same. Johnny'd say the same with Queen, because all the boys from the Queen show all good players. You know what I mean?
Kevin on drums and stuff.
Yeah.
And what about Greg? Greg, how do you go? Did you teach at the con or study at the con or something? Or?
I studied there. Yeah.
Did you do a classical degree or jazz degree?
I
think we lost you there. Are you there, Greg?
Jazz.
You did a jazz degree.
Yeah. Can you hear? I switched for 3 years in the end to do jazz, but actually majored in music technology. That's what I finished with.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so you know, yeah, so that was good technique playing. So piano's obviously the first instrument, but yeah, I agree with having a band because I you know, it's very important. It's one thing, you know, you being up front doing the but you know, it's all, it goes both ways. It's not having a great band to form the best yourself. You don't want the comment, oh, the band, but you know, he was ordinary, or you don't want he was great, the band was ordinary. So it's very important that the whole band and
Yeah.
love about it.
Absolutely.
Sorry, it's just breaking up there. Is there anyone watching Netflix at your house, Greg? Because I'm not joking, because that does impact the internet bandwidth.
Yeah, no, they're not.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I haven't got anyone watching anything at the moment.
Okay, no problem. Sorry, we did get that you started piano, then you switched to technology, and about being it's a band thing. You know, you can't just have the icing without the cake.
Yeah.
Yeah. And was there anything else?
Like I suppose as a I suppose with my Elton can play solo because obviously piano, voice. Look, you know, that's one thing, but band side of things, you know, that's what I was reiterating was that to have the and that you go forward together as a band, I think, rather than, you know, it's great having the individual accolades, but you know, the whole band goes forward together and sharing the accolades as well.
Right. So over to Johnny. Are you musical director for your band, Johnny?
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, but I would just like to say it's wonderful to hear you're talking about tribute shows and you're talking to Greg Andrew, and his Wi-Fi technology is coming from 1990. That's commitment. That's commitment. That is commitment. We can't hear him. He's
well, it's a prototype.
There's a modem sound that it's just wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. So for all of you that are watching around the world, it is Bribey Island. All right. Don't be too harsh on him.
That's where my mum lives.
Oh, cool. Very good.
Yeah.
Well,
Did you blame his mum?
What's that?
Did you just blame his mum?
No, I said
that was Mouse.
my mother lives on Bribey Island. So do two of my brothers.
It's her fault. It's her fault.
Yeah, exactly. She's throwing the internet down.
No,
so putting the band together, musical directing, how do you do that? Whose choice is that?
I'm the weakest link. I'm the weakest link in all of everything we do. I'm very happy to have Wayne Batali, Randall Terrans, Andreas, my guitarist, and Kevin. They're all they're musicians. They can read and write music, and I'm just the mimic that rolls out the front with everybody's favorite yellow jacket on. And no, I've been very blessed now to have on board some of the best musicians I've ever been involved with, and they're so honest. They're and normal. It's to have normal people around you is wonderful. So. No, I don't. I have very little input. They tell me what to do, and I listen, and that's how we've been able to do as many things as I think we've been able to do. I don't necessarily get along with all of them because ego takes a part in some things, but I understand that they are the people that I've got to listen to and realise that they're the guys that are going to help me get through this. So they are my best friends, and by all means, all of my team have no problems in kicking me up the arse and say, you're doing it wrong and you got to do it like this and all the rest of it. So my band, my heroes, and without a doubt, the MDs of the show.
Okay, that's good to know. And then over to Jody, what about musical directing with your acts? Do you have a hand in that, or do you outsource that?
I work closely with my lead guitarist, or
I'll come to that, Terry.
Yeah, so I mean, we as I was saying before, we pretty much I like everybody to put in their input. I don't know everything, I don't profess to know everything. So, and a lot of the musicians I work with are a lot more experienced and have done a lot more than I have. So it's actually a learning experience for me. What's that, Johnny?
Hang on, Johnny. Hey, let me zoom in. Do it again, Johnny.
Keep talking,
Do it again.
Jody. Keep talking. Keep talking.
Okay, keep talking. There we go. We got Jody there. What do we got there, Jody?
Just a little hat,
Ah, nice name drop. There we go.
Is that Jody's undies hanging up over that microphone? I thought it was her undies.
No, I'm not.
Sorry, my bad. No, my bad.
I've got an outfit. I've got an outfit just like that.
Yeah.
No,
So
good on you.
yeah. So musical directing, you keep it, even Stevens. You try to get everyone to.
It's definitely. I mean, I'll come up with the ideas, and then the boys will shoot me down in flames and make me do something different, a bit like 22. So, it's shared for sure. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Again, we go to Johnny. I think there's someone playing tennis in the background there.
Guys, keep it down. Keep it down.
To a doll.
My little girls are doing stupid stuff.
You
You want to come in? You want to come in and apologise? Come in and apologise. Come on.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Oh, there she is. Hello.
I got
Another cat.
That's Raina.
Hello, Raina.
All right.
How you
How you doing?
See that arm? She just
Beautiful cat.
She just broken the cat's arm.
Cool.
All right. So over to Mouse. Well, no pun intended.
Yes.
With the cat. Musical directing.
Well, yeah. I do to a certain degree, but again, I trust everyone in my band to know what they're doing on their instrument, and to be giving me, because I just, you play in a band, you choose the best drummer you can, bass player you can for that particular act, and all that sort of stuff. So I'll let everyone. I trust everyone to have their own head. You know what I mean? I trust everyone to be able to cut, their own chops. So I just trust them to do this sort of thing. If something's happening that I'm not really into, I would of course say, well, I'm not really into that. But then again, they've got the option to be able to do that as well, sort of thing. So it's a collective, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. And Johnny, do you have any other? Oh well, if you got all your what do you call them, costumes there? Did you want to show any more of your costumes? Because we didn't actually get to see.
You should have asked.
Just
Greg.
before. And I'll just message Greg. I don't know where Greg's gone.
Yes.
Okay, I'll just zoom in there for you, John, if you want to show the costumes.
Yeah.
But I agree with what you're saying before, Mouse. I'll come back.
My little ones want to. My little ones want to show this off because.
Okay, here we go.
Oh my God! What do you want to do it? You can do it if you want. You want to do it? No, leave it there. Sorry, I'm getting my little girls.
That's all right.
Okay,
rock and roll. So here we go.
So these are pants, special Wembley pants that were made for me. I got these made when I was touring in Thailand, I think.
Yeah, wow.
So these, but I've had to have quite a few of those made for me over the years. This is a special hat, a fire hat. The entire thing was made for me by a man called Brett Bartlett, who lives in Brisbane.
I remember you auctioning it off at one stage, didn't you? Yeah.
No, this is another one. Yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah, cool.
I did auction one off. Yeah. Steve Cubbins, I think, actually bought it. But this is another one. The one that Steve bought off auction was pretty hardcore. This is a little lighter, but Brett Bartlett was the guy who made that. These are props that I found online. Bad boy. I mean, these are a couple of. The funny thing is that all right. So this is a prop that I used when I shot the documentary. Wow. Let's Live Forever.
Yep.
This is hilarious because this is what I had to shoot around the time that they were, in the scene that I was doing. We were doing the Bohemian Rhapsody scene about me looking over the production of the whole Bohemian Rhapsody thing in the documentary. But this thing here would not even fit my girls. That's how skinny I was back then. It was only 2 years ago. Okay, so here's another costume. This is something that was, I don't know if you can see it, but
yeah. We zoomed in.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
I mean,
yeah.
this one cost me not a lot of money because I was looking for something that looked very similar to a film clip that Freddie filmed. Oh, look, there's heaps of things, but I tell you what. Oh, hang on. Okay, so this is a jacket that Freddie wore a lot, and I found it on an American website, and it was a little expensive. You don't have to do that. I've got it. But
well, you just have to bring it in frame, Johnny, to your left, your other left. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, I tell you what I did tonight.
Got a jailhouse rock vibe about it.
Most of my costumes are being dry cleaned and looked after by a good friend of mine called Chris Vassallo and his wife Maggie Vassallo. But I want to do something tonight that might be a little bit weird. We play at a place called the Zots, which is a place in Newcastle, and the owner of that venue, is we all know who Diesel. We all know who Diesel is. We don't know who that is.
Yep.
Well, this is his brother. And a long time ago, we did some shows for him, and we sold out the venue a couple of times. And he said, "Listen, I was given a wonderful present from a mayor of Newcastle, and my little girls are giving it to me. And anyway, it was all presented to me in a very, very strange way. But I'm doing it. This is it here. This was the mayor's robes that he gave me from Newcastle, or the mayor from Newcastle.
Wow.
And it's pretty full on. I can't put it on now because I'm going to have to get up and show you.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll swap you over while you get ready.
Okay. Oh, you want me to put it on?
Yeah.
Why not?
You want to put it on?
Yeah, go do it. Go do it.
Okay,
I'll just drop you from the feet. I'll just drop. Well, or you can drop the phone. Either other. Okay, so Greg, how are you going, Greg?
Yeah, good, mate. I think we just had a flock of fruit bats fly over, interrupted the internet reception. I think it was.
No, sweet.
Okay, yeah, no problem. So that's the audio's much.
Sounds like a good name for an 80s band.
I'll just mute Johnny there for a second. Oh, he's getting ready. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So, just touching on before about you were. I think you said you started off doing. Was it jazz at the con?
I did learn classically. I went right through classically, and then the first year I was doing classical piano at the con, and then I switched to jazz piano for the following 3 years. But actually majored in, as I said, music technology.
Wow, that's amazing. So you're no slouch on the piano, I'm sure.
No, well, I'm very lucky.
We've got two people know.
I've heard him play, yes.
Jody and Mouse is like, yep, no, he knows what he's doing.
He can play,
yep.
yeah, definitely.
Oh, thank you guys. But yeah, I mean, it gets back to, I'm very fortunate to do Elton. You need to be able to play, because he's a player himself, So it makes probably that ties in. That's where I am lucky having a major instrument as piano, where it ties in the belief factor when people watch you.
Right. I really like that concept before, what you're saying about just walking in and just letting people's imaginations actually take them back to where they are before you actually do anything. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
It gives you an idea, it gives you a chance to use the whole stage, because, what's a little bit different as Elton says himself, like, it's one of the few times when you're stuck in the middle or to the left of the stage where you're sitting behind a piano most of your night. So you're not a guitarist that can walk across the front of the stage. You're not.
Right.
So you've got to you got to pick moments where you can get up or move from behind that piano to be able to do stuff. So people, not only that, but there's no good just playing with my back. I'm sitting side on to people, and
Right.
they don't get to see the whole jacket. So it's always, especially when you've got the piano on stage, and so people who are over, on stage left of you, they never get, all they can see you singing to them, but they can't see your hands and they can't see the back of your jacket. So it's important to move around so that you give everyone that opportunity of seeing the jacket as well.
To
You
connect.
play up a bit to that.
Yeah, wow. Well, that might be a good question if we go to Jody. Do you, maybe before we go to Jody, we might just go to Johnny. Okay, here we go, Johnny. Sorry, Jody. Hang on, here we go. Okay, Johnny, you're on. You're on, Johnny.
Hang on, my little ones are helping me here. Okay, leave it there. Okay. So, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So one night when I was performing at Lazotte's, Mark, should we leave names out of it? Anyway, he said
name drop.
Okay, he said there are robes that was given to me, and with your blessing about starting this Lazotte's restaurants here in Newcastle, but they're from a mayor, and these are the robes. These are the robes that he gave them to me. However,
Beautiful.
in all of the robes, this was the mayor of Newcastle, all right? Okay.
Wow.
There was he wore them, and there was a framed photo of him wearing what I'm wearing now. I feel like the Wizard of Oz. It feels like the Wizard of Oz. It does. It feels like the lion. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, there was a photograph of him wearing them. And then when I got home, I opened up the photo. It was in a photo frame. There was a photograph of him and his lover. His lover was male.
What?
Yeah.
Is everyone okay still? Yeah.
That's great.
Okay.
This man was in his 60s, and the lover was not. But this is what's happening. This is why I said to you, Doug, be careful when you ask me to do this stuff alive, yeah? However,
I love it.
These are his robes, and the Lazotte family have passed them down to me. Yes. And this is what happens. So, whatever.
Are we going to can you sing a song, Johnny, in your robe?
I've paid my dues time after time. No, we can't. Mouse, you should be here helping me.
Yes.
But anyway, that's
great
story. And I didn't want to give it all away now, but I have the robes of the Newcastle mayor. This is what I'm saying. This is the real. Thanks to. Okay.
Johnny, is there anything underneath his robe? That's all I want to know.
Did Jody Joy say something then?
Yes.
Not interested. So this is what happens when you tour around Australia and work around Australia. You get the robes.
Everyone's asking you to sing. Under pressure.
You know what, Jody Joy, you should be talking about your dad. And then
yes.
Get onto that. Get onto what he's done, because her dad is amazing.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Jody, over to you.
Let me get out of this and talk about her dad. It's way more interesting.
Thanks, Johnny. We got a lot of pressure here for you to sing something, man.
Yeah, Who said that? Who said that?
Linda, Deborah, Jenny, Jody. Oh no, not Jody. There you go. Someone from Portugal.
Okay. No, they're okay. No, that's okay. Get that out of my face.
Even the kids want you to
All
sing.
right.
All right.
You shouldn't have come on here, Jody. You shouldn't have come on here.
You're dangerous. I just wanted to know, was there anything under that robe when you in the picture?
If there was, you would have known all about it, sweetheart.
You're delightful.
Oh,
Let's see how
okay.
good you go. Let's see
So
how
we're
good you go.
All right, cool. So we're not going to have a song?
Let's leave it at that because
Okay,
we
cool.
all know where there's a lot
All
of
right.
people. I warned Jody. I warned. There's plenty of people watching.
All right, so
Not listening. She's not listening. She's not listening.
well, let's go to Jody. I'll just zoom to Jody. So about your, I know you told me the other day, maybe the story about a band that might start with V. Are we allowed to tell that story?
The band starts with V or B.
And about your dad, and or maybe let's hear about your dad being such an awesome singer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, dad's an opera singer, so and my grandfather was an opera singer, so that's sort of my history. I've been brought up in the classical world of opera,
Rainer.
and I'm a black sheep of the family. I don't do it.
Oh,
I think it was
okay.
expected I would, but I don't. But no, Dad and I still sing together to this day. He's probably
Yep.
out there watching, maybe. He's got
Hey,
better
Dad.
things. Hey, Dad. Yeah, so check it out. It's on YouTube. We're all over the shop. Us Smitties, we're everywhere.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. And what about any other bands that you've successful bands you've been working closely with? Are we allowed to talk about any of those?
Successful bands. Well, I don't know. I've got my own band, obviously. And
Oh, nice one.
you like that? Yeah, so my band. But successful bands. Gosh, I don't know. I don't
Did
know.
they have had some twins in there or something of sorts?
Oh, those twins, yes. The Veronicas, mate.
The Veronicas.
The Veronicas.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
There's a story behind all that. My dad, and everyone claims their fame to this, but actually I know because my father mortgaged his house to make the Veronicas deal come off over in America. And
Wow.
yeah, so that's how the Veronicas sort of get into the picture. But I told you the story the other day, didn't I? That's right. Yeah, so I basically used to write music many moons ago with Daniel Jones from Savage Garden, and he lived in Logan. And he was working with Darren, his male singer. Obviously, the rest is history there. And I was the female project, and they'd been working together for some years. And in the end, I came up from Sydney, gave my demo over to his business partner, and they signed me over to Colombia. And through all of that, he got to know my father, and my father's quite good at writing contracts and whatnot, as well as many other things that he does. And they became good friends, and they started a record label together. And through that, my dad introduced the Veronicas to his business partner, and they mortgaged his house to help the girls get a kickstart on their career.
Fucking hell.
Wow.
Sweet.
Wow.
Story, but yes.
Wow.
That's amazing. It's funny, as we were talking about the other day, years ago, I was playing in a band with the Veronica's vocal coach. And anyway, long story. Sorry?
They went to a few people. Jason Barry Smith, they trained with him a fair bit. He's a wonderful classical singer.
Yep.
Yeah.
No.
What's his name that you said the other day? The other
Brian. Yeah,
Brian.
Brian. So my name was thrown around in the ring to be their touring guitarist way back in the day. Yeah.
Oh,
Nothing ever happened. It was just talked about, but nothing
really?
ever happened. Yeah,
Well,
I was in
that, recording studio, Doug.
What's that, sorry?
It's still there in Logan. I run my music school out of there. And
Wow.
Paris Hilton turned up one evening to record her demo. Paris Hilton.
Oh,
at
cool.
your studio.
Holy crap.
Name drop.
Did she just say Paris Hilton?
I know.
Yeah.
Did she just say Paris Hilton?
Yes.
She was doing lines of cocaine off my toilet.
Did she just say Paris Hilton?
My mother was not impressed.
Holy
Oh,
Holy shit.
I know.
Holy
I'm
shit.
angry.
Doug, did she just say Paris Hilton?
yes.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's a true story. Sorry.
Wow.
I kept asking my mother for orange juice.
Credibility.
Mum,
Kaboom.
Oh,
Oh
so-
my God. That is seriously, did she just say Paris Hilton? we have to mention what's his name? Robbie
Paris who?
Robert Williams.
Robbie Mills.
We have to mention him because he entered the Hilton, the ground floor.
Oh, wow.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic.
Sorry,
Anyway,
can she sing? Can
That
she
is
sing?
fantastic. That is
I'll try and
fantastic.
find it for
Can
you.
you imagine if this was on Good Morning Australia? This is fantastic.
Look at this. Can she sing or what? Can Paris sing?
I'm just about to get
Of
on.
course she can. Ask Jodie. Oh, that is fantastic. That has made my night.
I will
That
find
is
the
my-
recording.
Let's get Robbie. Let's get Robbie. What's his name again? Robbie. What's his name again?
Millsy.
Rob Mills.
Oh, let's get Millsy on. Let's get Millsy on.
Actually, if
Oh, that would be fantastic. Let's get that loose cannon on.
So, Jodie, can Paris sing?
let's just say her singing is much like groaning. She's a grown up.
This is
Oh,
This is fantastic. This is. I wish you had
drop the
a
sunnies.
witnessing audience of a lot more. This would be awesome. This is
And I will
fantastic.
back it up. I will find
Ah,
the recording we
From
have.
useless to useless. This is
There
wonderful.
you go. Have you got the masters? Have you still got the masters?
I believe we do. I will find
Wow.
them for you. Yes. Paris Hilton. Yes. My mother
So-
she couldn't believe
So,
it.
tell me this: how did you get the call to say Paris Hilton is here in Australia and Paris Hilton wants to come and record at your studio? How did that
Doug.
unfold?
Dougie,
What?
can we move
Yeah.
on? Can we move on from all
No,
this? No one cares, mate.
Well, this question:
Let's
how did you get the
move
call?
Let's move
Johnny,
on.
shut up.
I didn't get the call. I happen to be writing this.
Move on.
So your dad got the call. Anyway, we're talking about your dad.
Oh,
No.
it just insulted his memory.
Johnny.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Why hasn't Jodie protected the memory of her father? Move on. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
All right, Johnny.
I'm praying for everybody in Latin. In Latin. I love you, Jodie, but Jesus Christ, darling, you are nothing but a fucking bad memory to your dad if you say that. For God's sake.
We've got some recordings.
Okay.
For God's sake, rubbish. Fucking
Anyway,
move on. Move on. I told you I had Narelle Bell lined up instead of Jodie. Narelle Bell, she works for a living. Fucking hell. Move on.
Anyway,
Move on.
hey, I got a story about Paris Hilton. Actually, I went to the States. This is
Fucking hell.
well, this might not be.
Fucking hell. I was better than
Johnny.
that rubbish.
Hang on, let's-
Can you
Let's
mute
mute
My
him?
left hand's bored. I'm
You're muted.
masturbating.
Stop muted him.
Thank God he's not savvy. He doesn't know how to mute him.
God, Jesus Christ, give me strength. Jesus Christ, give me
Johnny.
strength. I work
Okay.
in this industry.
So the story goes in 2005. It's not really that exciting. She was reversing her roles, and they shut the street down because the paparazzi coming just to film her reversing the roles. But anyway, it was a very boring story. Anyway, we've got some comments. Loving this episode.
Not that boring. We've heard some boring shit tonight, mate.
No more Paris unless someone has some.
No,
coke.
let it go.
Okay,
Let it
so-
go.
Moving on to
Disney.
mouth. Okay, moving on.
Yes.
Moving on to mouth. So hopefully you don't have any Paris Hilton stories.
We should be talking to me. We should be talking to me, Mouse, and Elton. And
Okay.
Greg, that's what we should be talking about.
Okay, so
I told you. I said I got other female entertainers that can talk about stuff that they've done and how they live in this industry. I told you that. I
I know. So, Mouse, touring around Australia in your originals act.
Yeah.
Signed of sorts?
Sorry?
Were you in a signed band of sorts?
Oh, yeah, well, I had a band back in the mid to late 80s that we put out a couple of albums and stuff. That we're doing okay. You know, we were filling up like 3,000-seater venues and shit like that. But I've actually got a vinyl. I've got a vinyl album. Yeah, well, we played. Yeah, pretty much. We started out as a covers band and then worked our way up, just writing songs and putting them in as we went along. You know, and then towards the end, we were doing primarily original material. You know, and I played in quite a few other original bands too. I moved to Sydney and lived in Sydney for a lot of years and played an originals band there. We used to support ourselves in a Led Zeppelin show so we could promote our originals. We'd come out and do 45-minute set of our own stuff and then go and get changed and come back on and do a Led Zeppelin show to promote our own thing, you know. So that, yeah, I've got a lot of recordings of those things and done a lot of local recordings with Gold Coast bands as well, you know, that I'm pretty proud of. A lot of good songs, you know.
Yeah, very good.
And,
that's awesome.
And a lot of touring, like all of us, you know.
There we go. We have a comment from Marshall. If this show does not get 1,000 locks, nothing. Okay. Okay, so no. Thanks, Marshall. And what about Greg? Have you done the original music thing as a singer or player? Greg?
Yes, sorry, Doug, you're just breaking up, mate. There.
Do you want me to do it in sign language?
The original one.
Don't be sarcastic, Doug, you tool.
Sorry, mate. So, have you done any original?
I can see John's
He's from Bribey Island.
He's what? I think I've lost him.
From Bribey Island.
He's from Bribey Island. So, have you done any original music, Greg?
No, not really. Instrumental side of things I have, but not as much as playing and singing as such, but or not perform live anyway.
Okay,
but
that's
he
good.
could write original songs if he wanted to.
Hello, New York.
Yeah, hello. Good morning, New York. Yes.
Yeah.
Wake up, Greg. Kids pour the best drinks. Whoops. It's in Alabama. Hey, Jenny from Alabama. How you going?
There's a lawsuit there waiting to happen.
Sweet
racist.
So, Johnny, original music. Have you looked at that?
Oh God, no. Absolutely not. I've written a few poems over my years, and people said that you could probably turn those into songs, but I couldn't give a shit. I like eating. That's all. I like eating food. But I have read a few little things that maybe when I get older, I might go down that track. Yeah, maybe.
Okay, fair
but
enough.
I couldn't write a song to save my life. That's what I'm saying.
But you're a great entertainer, I can tell.
Oh, I'm a front man. I do what I do what I have to do. I do what I have to do, and I've been doing it for a long time, and I've done it around the world. And to write a song, a lot of people have said this to me over the years, I must say. But I'd have to sit down with a songwriter and a composer and someone that would. It would be yeah. No, I can't. No, I can't write a song. I'm a mimic, and that's it. And I'm happy to say that. That's what I am, and that's what I do.
I also should tell a story that I actually played a party for you back in the day.
You did?
When I first met you, and I said, I'm here to play some music for Johnny. Where's Johnny? And they said, he's just outside getting in the pool. And I was like, okay, cool. You know, I might work on my moontan. I kid you not. This is how crazy Johnny is. He has a 2-story house. He was on the freaking roof jumping into the pool. 2 stories up. And he's like, Come on, let's jump in the pools. Very crazy night.
I remember that, and that's just who I am. I live life, and that is, I don't. It is what it is, you know. I don't suffer fools, and I welcome fools that want to bring their shit to me and all the rest of it. But at the end of the day, I am what I am, and you know, I love everybody that's around me, and I love my circle. I have a really good circle, and you're one of them.
Thank you, sir.
That's it.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. All right, we'll go over to Jody about original music. So,
this will be a fucking boring conversation.
Come on, Johnny.
I find it amusing that Johnny's the one that invited me on, but you know,
I didn't invite you on. I didn't invite you on. I didn't invite you on.
That's fine.
I didn't invite you on. I didn't invite you on.
Anyway, Jody, about original music. So,
yeah, well, I don't just mimic people for a living. I try and write my own stuff, give it a good go, enjoy it. Yeah, so I've been, I don't know, writing since I was about 12, and I co-write a lot. I have a couple of people in Italy.
Since 12?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
she's very good. She's very good.
I'm being picked on tonight, Johnny. Are you always such a fucking asshole, or like I just never know earlier?
Well, let's go. Let's go.
This is about you. You're very important this evening, Johnny.
Let's go, Johnny.
You know, last time I saw Johnny, we were at Logan. Do you remember Logan Entertainment Centre?
I will never forget it.
And you were just kicking off your show, your Queen show, and we did a show in there together. And that's probably the first and last time I saw you. Haven't seen you for a long time.
Yeah. Small world.
Keep going.
So
keep going.
But we're talking about her original music.
Keep going. No, keep going. I can't watch it. This keep going.
You have any big involves?
Yeah. Anyway, yes, I do. But anyway,
No. You stop, Doug, and let her keep going. Let's go. Let's go.
All right.
Keep going.
All right. Go, Johnny. I mean, go, Jody. Original music.
You're throwing them all to a miss, mate.
No, Jody. Let's talk about what you just said. Keep going.
About age 12.
What?
Jenny's up there. She's been writing since she was age 12 as well.
No. I'm not interested about it. I'm talking about the Logan gig. Let's keep going with that.
Let's keep going with that.
Yeah, that was
let's keep going with that. Here we go.
That was a long time ago.
Well, no, you brought it up. Let's keep going.
Yeah, well, I thought it might be interesting conversation rather than.
Oh, this is going to be very interesting. You keep going.
How we actually met.
Oh, this will be wonderful. This will be wonderful.
We never actually worked together at Movie World, did we? You were there afterwards.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. But we.
I stand corrected.
Now. Anyway,
keep going. No. You stay out of this now, Doug. You keep going, Jody. Keep going.
Well, let's get to the point. Let's get on to the next one.
This will be wonderful because I am going to share this on all of my social networking pages, which Jody does never have the numbers. Keep going, Jody.
What was that?
I don't understand.
I said I'm going to share this on my social networking pages.
Yes.
That you don't have the numbers, but keep going. Continue.
Why is that?
Continue what you were saying, Jody. I'm asking you to continue.
You're making a lovely ass out of yourself.
Okay. Anyway, or do you want to change the subject? We'll just move on.
I would love to stay right here, right now. It's comfortable and it's warm. Keep going, Jody.
Johnny show.
Okay. So here we go. Greg back in. So
keep going, Jody. Let's talk about this message that you want to get out. I'm here. I'm ready, and it's all getting recorded. Keep going, darling. Keep going.
It
might be to know how the connection.
Jody, keep going. Keep going, Jody.
Hang on, Johnny. We just got Greg back. Are you with us, Greg? Greg, are you still with us? Greg, is your internet okay?
It's live. It's so annoying. So can you stop?
Hannah, I just put that. Okay, so we might
Make me cry soon.
just wrap it up at an hour and a half. Greg, we have Greg back. Are you still there, sir? So, Johnny, Mouse, do you want to maybe words of advice? last round of questions.
In relation to what?
Just supporting anyone who wants to be a musician of sorts.
Oh yeah, just if if it's in your soul, follow it to the nth degree, and always practice till you're sick of it, and then practice some more. That's the way to get. That's the way to get really good at it. You know what I mean?
Beer.
Put a lot of time in. Yeah.
Rainer.
And always practice hard, and then forget all that and work on feel, because that's what's gonna that's what's gonna give you your voice some soul. For sure.
Yep. Okay. So practice, and I think also too you play from here, not from here. If you
exactly. You learn how to do it. Learn how to do it. Sink it all into your head. Look at it, and then forget all that and play from the heart. For sure. That's always going to be. And the best artists are always like that. All the Freddies and all that sort of stuff. They were always like that. You know what I mean? They learn the technique of it. They learn the technique, and then they just work from their heart.
Okay, this is good.
Because music's all about feel.
Yeah. And you're an awesome musician, sir. A fantastic singer.
Thanks, buddy. I love that.
Very, very, very intimidating.
Love my job.
You're the only one I know that can sing John Farnham, so that's amazing.
Yeah. And, well, there's a few of them out there. I know a few of them.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, that's awesome.
But it's still not easy to do. Yeah, sing Farnham stuff and all. Yeah.
Right. That's good. All right. Well, and Jody, do you have any? I don't know, anything you want to add to? People who want to do this in the futures per se.
People who aspire to do their own concept shows or be an entertainer in general.
I think entertainer in general.
Yeah, I probably second what Mouse said as well. But just keep going, keep enjoying. As long as you're enjoying the journey, and you're practicing and you're enjoying what you do, that's what it's all about, isn't it? And if you can get out of it, even better. So
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And I don't know what's happening with Greg there. He's cutting in and out there. But and what about music versus the singing? So do you I don't know, do you have any tips for the people to I guess I learned this awesome tip from Ingrid James back in the day. So with learning the lyrics, underline where the downbeat is. So when you have your little lyrics, you can underline where the downbeat is, so you learn where the accents are. I don't know. Do you have any other technical tips, or do you want to do that another day?
Yeah, absolutely. I like I always write my lyrics out. Someone told me once, you sleep with them under your pillow, you remember them easily. I don't know. I try anything. If I've got a lot to learn. But all of those things are good. I mean, there's lots of different tips and tricks that you can give people, I suppose. But
I
found writing them out.
Yeah,
when you write them down rather than print them out, write them down helps you remember a lot easier too. When you actually, it sinks it in a lot better,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But it's hard when you've got 3 or 4 shows going, and you got to go. Oh, what am I doing this week? Okay, I have to brush up on all those lyrics. You know what I mean?
That's good.
Yeah, that's awesome. And maybe Greg, if you've got any, if you can hear us there, Greg, if you got any feedback about aspiring musicians, some advice.
Yeah, I think whatever you do, I think with all these other guys, you're going something, just be the best you can possibly. Don't cut corners.
Yeah, exactly, mate.
Yeah, that's good advice.
That's exactly
good
right.
advice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And any other tips about anything else, Greg? No? Got a delay there. All right, well, Johnny, closing advice for aspiring musicians, Johnny.
I think you just got to make sure that you are connecting with the right people. I believe that's a very strong thing to do, is make sure that that you connect with are the people that are going to help you with what you want to do, and that's it.
Okay.
And I haven't finished with Jody Joy yet, so
we'll come back. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Stay on the line. Stay on the line. Stay on the line. Stay on the line. Don't no one hang up. Stay on the line. Okay, so we're going to sort that out. But anyway, here we go. I'll just be one second. But thank you if everyone wants to wave, but stay on the line. Everyone wave. Thank you for doing the official part, but don't hang up.
Just that.
Don't hang up.
I'm going to start a fight.
So thank you for watching, and this has been fun. So please like and subscribe, and share the love, and please like and subscribe. All the musicians been on tonight, and I hope you've learned something. And I will see you again. And I'm Doug D. Jong, and this is Make Some Noise. See you again next time.